Kerri Kasem, fill in for Bill Carroll on KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk. I've been teasing you all morning with the fact that I believe there's only one reason that a man can hit a woman. Because that question's been going around, and people are, is it okay, if you're fighting and the woman is hitting the man and the man hits the woman, and well, what if it's mutual? That question's been going around for a while, since the Ray Rice story. And if you haven't heard about the Ray Rice story, you obviously haven't been watching TV or listening to the radio, but the Ray Rice, the Baltimore Ravens running back, hit his wife so hard, he knocked her out. This was at a New Jersey casino, and it was done in an elevator. In fact, TMZ put up all the video of, you won't believe this video. I mean, you can't believe the video. It's the elevator doors open. There comes Ray Rice, and there falls his wife, or just she's collapsed, and he's taking her by the arm and dragging her out of the elevator. And her shoes and her feet are still kind of stuck in the elevator. And he kind of kicks them aside, moves them aside. And you see a security guy come over and look and just check to see what's happened. Because she does look drunk. I mean, she looks like she's just passed out. So I can understand why he wasn't too worried about it, the cop, or the security guy. But it turns out that they got into a fight in the elevator. This is Janae. His then fiance, they're now married. Ray Rice and Janae Palmer are now married. She's now Janae Rice. And, so she actually has said, it's never happened before. This is a one-time only thing. He's never done this before. It's not going to happen again. He only got suspended 2 games. And there's a lot of people that are very upset about that. And I actually brought up the fact that Michael Vick, look what happened to him with his dog ring. And I don't think he should have ever been able to play again, but, well, he's playing. But this guy beats his wife and he gets 2-game suspension? It's interesting. Stephen A. Smith from ESPN said something that got people really riled up. In fact, he went back on it. But we have that audio clip.
We keep talking about the guys. But what I've tried to employ the female members of my family is that, again, and this is what I've done this all my life, let's make sure we don't do anything to provoke wrong actions. So let's try to make sure that we can do...
Provoke is where, but provoke. Can we rewind that and play that again? I don't know if we can, Todd. If we can't, that's okay. Provoke? Are you kidding me?
This is what I've done this all my life. Let's make sure we don't do anything to provoke wrong actions.
And what he means by we don't, it means you ladies out there, you women out there, make sure you don't provoke your guy to hit you. That's insane. Okay, let's play this.
So let's try to make sure that we can do our part in making sure that doesn't happen. And I think that just talking about what guys shouldn't do, we got to also make sure that you can do your part to do whatever you can do to try to make sure it doesn't happen. We also have to make sure that we learn as much as we can about elements of provocation. Not that there's real provocation, but the elements of provocation, you got to make sure that you address it, because what we've got to do is do what we can to try to prevent the situation from happening in any way.
I think that hit a nerve with a lot of people, the provoking. Yeah, you ladies, don't provoke your men to hit you. It's on you. It's your fault if you do it. And I really don't think he meant, I really don't think he meant like it is your fault. And I understand there are women in situations that have not gotten out of a very, very violent relationship. And I get that. I understand. Don't provoke if you know the guy's going to hit you. But get out of the relationship. And I know it's easier said than done, but there is so much help out there for you. There's so much, and nothing is ever helpless. There's so much help. And I know a lot of times you feel like, well, he has everything. He's got the house. He's got all the money. I don't have anything. I depend on him. But it's your life at stake. It's your kid's life. Get out. Go to a shelter. Yeah, there is one excuse. If a guy hits a woman, one. Oh, should I just tell you? I know you've all been waiting for it. The only time I believe it's okay for a man to hit a woman is if that woman is directly threatening his life. Not with her little fists. And there's some big fists. There's some women who can hit pretty hard. With a gun or a knife. And they're coming after you. And it's really, really to stop her from killing you. And if a woman is holding a gun or a knife and coming at you, and you can get her in the face or you can knock her out, fine. Fine. Other than that, there is no excuse to hit a woman. And women, there are no excuses for you to hit a man. I mean, who raised you? Who raised you? My dad always told us, never put your hand on another human being, no matter what. You know, when my brother and sister and I would get into arguments as kids and we'd hit each other, my brother would hit us. Oh, whoa. That was the worst possible thing you could do. Don't you ever lay your hands on your sisters, Mike. Don't you ever lay your hands on your brother, girls. It was just never... There's no excuse for that. And I understand there's a lot of people who have been beaten by their fathers. I get it. And then you kind of pass that down and it's a vicious cycle. I get that. And it's horrible and it's disgusting. And I'm so sorry if that happened to you, but that does not give you an excuse to go on hitting your children or hitting your wife. There's no excuse for that at all. I mean, oof. Anyways, this guy, Ray Rice, suspended for 2 games. He's got, I think, fees. He has fees that he has to pay, almost $500,000. Almost $500,000. I really hope Ray does not hit Janae again. I really hope that was a one-off, and I really hope that does not ever happen again. When we come back, we've got we got some Whoopi Goldberg, and we're going to take your phone calls. So give us a call, 800-5201-KFI. Is it ever okay to hit a woman? Women, is it okay to hit men? Are you somebody that hits your guy? 800-5201-KFI. I'm Kerri Kasem, filling in for Bill Carroll.
Good morning. On Friday, speaking right here on First Take on the subject of domestic violence, I made what can only amount to the most egregious error of my career. While elaborating on thoughts concerning the NFL's ruling versus Ray Rice, following a domestic dispute with his then-fiancé, I ventured beyond the scope of our discussion by alluding to a woman's role in such heinous matters.
So he apologized. That's Stephen A. Smith. He apologized because this is what he said.
Let's make sure we don't do anything to provoke wrong actions. So let's try to make sure that we can do our part in making sure that doesn't happen. And I think that just talking about what guys shouldn't do, we got to also make sure that you can do your part to do whatever you can do to try to make sure it doesn't happen. We also have to make...
Okay. Well, I'm Kerri Kasem. I'm filling in for Bill Carroll. You're listening to KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk. That was Stephen A. Smith. At first he was apologizing, and then I played the clip where he actually said, women don't provoke your men. Basically saying it's all your fault if your guy hits you. He apologized, and I really don't think he meant it like, hey, it's all your fault, but the way it came out was not okay. So I want to know, women, are you out there hitting your men? Why do you hit your men? I want to hear from you women that you might think it's okay, or maybe you don't think it's okay, but you hit them anyways. Or anyway. 800-5201-KFI. That's 800-5201-KFI. Marvin, you're on with Kerri Kasem. It's KFI.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, you got it.
It sounds like, first of all, I have the utmost respect for Stephen A. and Whoopi, but it sounds like by their statements they've been drinking some of Sarah Palin's Whoopi juice. I've always told my girlfriends, and I tell my wife to this day, I will leave you before I hit you.
Good.
There is no excuse to put your hand on a woman. You're stronger than her. I mean, Ray Rice could have killed that lady.
That's right.
One punch could have killed her.
That's right. And could have given her brain damage, could have broken her neck.
Exactly. So there's no excuse. I don't think there are no circumstances. If she pushes you, she hits you, she calls you out your name, walk away. Turn around and say, you know what? This is not the time. Just walk away. That's it.
Good for you. And I think that's a healthy way and a healthy way of looking at it, where a lot of men, thank you, Marvin, for the call, where a lot of men don't look at it that way. They don't. Whether or not your wife or your woman strikes you, you feel it's okay. They hit me first. I'm going to hit you back. Or they don't even do that and you hit them anyways because they're saying something that you don't like. That's not okay. Walk away. Leave the relationship. According to a 2010 national survey by the Centers for Disease Control and Department of Justice, in the last 12 months, more men than women were victims of intimate partner physical violence. And over 40% of severe physical violence was directed at men. Severe physical violence. So, I can't aim my rant at just men. Women, why do you hit your men? Who raised you? It doesn't make sense. I think there's so much that is said for communication, because if you could communicate and you learn to communicate, and there's a ton of books out there that show you how to communicate, that could resolve so many issues. So many people just don't take the time to work on themselves. You work in everything else except yourself. Start looking in the mirror once in a while and saying, what are the things I don't like about myself? And there's a lot of help out there. Fix it. It can be fixed. Communication is the universal solvent. It fixes most everything. Most everything. It really does. Shane, you're on KFI. I'm Kerri Kasem. Hey there.
Hi, Kerri. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. First of all, I want to say I'm sorry to hear about your dad, and I miss you on 6 Cents.
Oh, thank
you. Other than that, my wife and I this wasn't the first time she's been hitting me and stuff, and the last time that she was actually really physical, she had called my father before this happened, and he was at the house while she was hitting me, and I just put her in a bear hug and laid her on the bed to get away from her. So I kept trying to get away from her, and she kept coming after me. And my dad called the police, and I got thrown in jail for 12 days. Started out as a felony abuse, spousal abuse. It was finally dropped down to a misdemeanor disturbing the peace.
Now, are you still with your wife?
Yes, I am.
Why?
Why? It doesn't happen often. It hasn't happened since then. So,
now, can you guys and that's good. That's good, but it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. That's most likely. Can you two, there's some, there's books you can read on how to communicate better. There's things you can do to kind of curtail that behavior. You should work on it and not just hope it doesn't happen again, because that shouldn't be happening to you, Shane. It shouldn't happen to any man.
No, I agree. And, the thing is that we've gone to counseling since.
Okay, good.
My wife is not from this country, so I'm afraid that if we divorce, she'll take the kids. I have a son of mine from my first marriage. She has a daughter from her first marriage, and we have one together. So his, hers, and ours.
Okay,
and I'm afraid of losing kids.
I get it. I understand. But don't lose your self-respect. Don't lose you, because if the kids see your wife hitting you, it's not good for the kids either. But, Shane, thank you for your call. I want to go on to Linda. Linda, why do women hit men? What's going on with this?
I think women hit men because they first of all, number one, believe the myth that men won't hit them.
Right.
Number two, they have no other means of communicating with her man. And that's the same for men who hit women. It's not any different.
But it's not okay. It's not you saying right.
None of it is okay. I'm not condoning any of it. You ask me why they do it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm conveying to you. Women do provoke men and vice versa. Everybody wants to make it exclusively the man. They're trying to lay blame. It's not a blame. It's a behavior. And if we look at the behavior, whether it comes from childhood or wherever, you just don't hit.
Now, do you think it's a self-esteem thing? What do you think it is? Why do you think? I mean, I understand. Yes, they provoke them, and they can't use the words. They can't communicate. But why? What do you think this is? I mean, I feel like we're going back to like the cavemen days, where there was no. We have the ability to communicate now.
Well, apparently some people don't.
Yeah, apparently you're right. Linda, you are right.
People, do they use that ability to communicate? Do they take advantage of the programs that are out there that are going to allow them to communicate? Now, for me, just speaking for me, I used to have, I'm very mouthy. I had a gentleman call me, I have a spicy mouth because I have my own opinions and my own thoughts.
I can hear it.
Okay.
I can hear it, and you have about 5 seconds because we got to go to break.
Okay, because bottom line is, if I'm with Whoopi. If you hit a man, you get what you get. Just don't hit men.
Nobody should hit anybody. But thank you, Linda, for your phone call. Yeah, we can play Whoopi when we come back. I'm Kerri Kasem. I'm filling in for Bill Carroll. It's KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk. I'm on. It's Kerri Kasem filling in for Bill Carroll. It's KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk. We have been talking about the Ray Rice story and about men hitting women, women hitting men. And I've asked, why do women, first of all, why do you hit anybody? But women, why are you hitting men? Whoopi Goldberg had something to say to Stephen A. Smith for saying that, well, you provoke it. Women provoke it. Don't provoke your men. And this is what Whoopi had to say.
Out his fiance. Now, Smith basically said no man should ever hit a woman, but a woman should learn how to avoid provoking a man's anger. Now, some people are outraged, and let me just point out that the comment that he made is based on what the young lady said she did. Let me just make that clear to y'all. She said, I hit him, and I believe that's what Stephen is pointing. I just want to say,
for a man hitting a woman unless his life is in jeopardy.
No, I'm sorry.
He knocks her out. He knocks her out.
Listen, I'm sorry. If you hit somebody, you cannot be sure you are not going to get hit back. Because no. Oh yes, baby. Listen, if you're a little boy, I'm sorry. If you're a little boy and you grow up with a sister says, no, you can never hit her. And she's like this, and she's hitting you all the time. You say, mommy. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. If you hit her, you have to teach women. You have to teach women. Do not put your hands on anybody. Do not, let me
Teach men and women, Whoopi. Men and women. Don't put your hands on anybody. Don't hit anybody. Now, I know it's easier said than done, especially when you've been hit as a child and you were raised, being beaten up by your dad or your mom, and then you kind of pass it on. But you know what? There's help for you. Get it. Because there's no excuse. And the only excuse to hit a woman is if she is directly affecting your life. Like if she's going to take your life, if she's holding a gun, if she has a knife, she's coming at you. It's the only excuse is protect your life, is to save yourself. It's the only excuse. Otherwise, there's no excuse to hit anybody. Violence, there's no excuse for violence. We've got Silver on the line. Silver, you're on with Kerri Kasem on KFI.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
So, is it okay for women to hit men?
I don't believe so. I have done it twice in my lifetime. I'm 51 years old. The first time, it was emotional reaction that, in retrospect, I realized that I shouldn't have done. But the man had just called his 11-year-old daughter a bitch. and the mama bear came out in me. And it was my boyfriend. I was living with him at the time. So I treated her as though she were my own.
Good for you.
When I heard that, I had an emotional response, and I slapped his mouth. I said, don't you ever talk to your daughter like that. And in retrospect, I should have just removed her from the room and reinforced that she's not like that and had a talk with him about it later.
What did your guy do when you slapped him? What did he do?
He was stunned. And he knew he was wrong. He loved his daughter, but, he had gone through a messy divorce, and he was trying to take things out on her, I think. Said that she was like her mother. She was such a bitch.
Wow.
And I just don't think that was right, and I had an emotional response. And
did you apologize? Did you end up apologizing to your boyfriend?
I did apologize to him in front of the daughter. But, that was just the one time. And then the second time was years later. I was married at the time, and my husband was abusive. He had his hand wrapped around my hair and was beating my head up against the wall, and I struck out at him in defense of myself.
Well, that's defense. That's that's different. So you're away from him now, correct?
No, you're right. That's some ex-husband.
Good for you. Good for you. No, Silver, good for you. And look, we got to go on to another call, but I'm glad you're out of that situation. Pam, do you hit your guys?
No, I don't. But I just wanted to make just a small observation that I haven't heard anybody say anything. But generally across the socioeconomic spectrum, whenever a woman goes after her husband or her boyfriend, there's generally booze involved, because women act really crazy when they've had way too much to drink.
That's true.
Any white women, black women, Mexican, everybody. This is what, from my many years of bartending and having friends and knowing their situations, there's a lot of times there's booze involved.
And
guys cannot
at that point,
violent, drunk women. They don't know how to deal with them. And I think, it's never right, but I think men kind of lose it a little bit when they have a completely irrational drunk woman on their hands.
Okay, but you work in the bars. What do men do to handle that? You don't see a men pull back and knock them out like Ray Rice did.
Hold on to their arms, but if the guy's got a loose nut anyways, he's going to take a shot at her.
And you've seen it.
Yes, I've seen it, and I've heard it in circles of friends too. Not so much anymore because I'm older now, but there's usually some drugs or drinking involved or something. Yeah. There's another element involved too. So
I agree. A lot of the times there is.
Like that, very few that I've ever heard, unless there's something else.
Well, thank you, Pam. Thank you very much for your call. Yeah, no, it's just, I don't care if you're drunk or you're high or whatever you got going on. Violence on either side, men, women, is just never okay. It's just not. And, if you're defending yourself, I get it. I understand. I know I was hit once. One time. Once. And not by a man, by another woman. Ooh. Nobody had ever attacked me or hit me before. I didn't even know what to do. I just covered my face and ducked. Then she kicked me. And I took her to court. And I won. Coming up, we're going to do Bill's Bites, of course, and we're going to do a Reefer Madness ad. Oh, wait, did I say that? No, I meant a gun PSA. Gun Madness ad. Some of this stuff makes me so angry. If you heard me yesterday, I'm a gun owner, a proud gun owner. I've got a couple 357s. I got a 12 gauge. Well, some of these guns are my boyfriend's. A Derringer is mine. The 357 is mine. I had a 38. And I will be getting and acquiring more guns, just so you know, because I feel it's my right, and I have a right to protect myself.
I don't think anyone is ever going to hit you.
No, you better not.
It damn well better
not.
Just don't hit me.
Promise I won't.
Okay.
I'm Kerri Kasem. I'm filling in.
Cry.
Oh, you will?
Yeah, I'll cry like a baby.
You're not going to hit me back? You're not going to knock me out?
No, I huddle in the corner in a fetal position and cry.
Well, that's what I did when I was hit.
Yeah.
I think that's what most normal people do that are not used to violence.
Just not when you're an adult, though. That's where it goes wrong.
That's right. I'm Kerri Kasem. I'm filling in for Bill Carroll. It's KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk. It's Kerri Kasem filling in for Bill Carroll on KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk. We're up to Bill's Bites. Sarah Palin has got a new YouTube show. Get this. You only have to pay $9.99 a month to get her show. It's only more than Netflix. That's it. It's more than Netflix. It's only one show. We got a clip.
Hello, and welcome to a new project. This is a news channel that really is a lot more than news. This is a community where we're going to be able to share ideas and discuss the issues of the day. And
I'm going to kill a moose.
We're going to find solutions. Are you tired of the media filters? Well, I am. I always have been. So we're going to do something about it.
We're going to kill a moose.
I want to talk directly to you on our channel, on my terms, and no need to please the powers that be.
That's why I can kill a moose.
Most importantly, I want you to talk directly to me. That's what I'm most anxious about, hearing from you. Together, we'll go beyond the sound bites.
And we'll kill a moose.
It could go on and on.
It can go on and on and on.
And I can see Russia from my house.
This is a big trend in Tokyo. She's on board. She's ahead of the curve with this live streaming. I just saw this whole thing last night on Japanese news station. They're fanatics about live streaming. But, Sarah.
You've got to be high. Oh, wait. Maybe she is. We have proof of it, actually. Maybe she came up with this entire show right after she did this speech. Listen to this. She's in Colorado.
See them on TV, and they're being abused by their parents. Any parent who would send them on such a journey up to America's red line, disintegrated red line. No, it's not just the innocent children. Open borders? Well, nothing's there to sift out the bad guys, the gangbangers and the terrorists. They will be mixed in there. And we're offering to take care of them. I think it's insane.
It is insane that this woman gets up there. Maybe she doesn't realize what altitude does to you when you've had wine. When you have one glass of wine and you're in the Mile High City, you're in Colorado, Mile High up.
Do you think are you high?
I think I've had some of what Sarah Palin was having.
Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine?
Smoking some of that shabu shabu?
Come on, maybe it was low blood sugar. Come on.
To be fair, though, honestly, there are a lot of people talking that she had cotton mouth,
she does.
dry
You
mouth.
can hear the cotton mouth. You can hear that she's had a few drinks.
A lot of non sequiturs going on there.
Yeah, but that's normal, isn't it? The non sequiturs.
I guess that could be true.
It's bad. It's bad. But no, she doesn't sound like she's sober in any way. Really, you do hear that dry mouth. I don't know if you can if you're in your car because.
Play it again.
Play some of this. You can really
see them on TV, and they're being abused by their parents. Any parent who would send them on such a journey up to America's red line, disintegrated red line.
There it was.
No, it's not just the innocent children.
Or the moose.
Open borders? Well, nothing's there to sift out the bad guys. The gangbangers and the terrorists, they will be mixed in there. And we're offering to take care of them. I think it's insane.
Yeah, that's Sarah Palin in Colorado giving a speech that a lot of people are saying she just was all over the place. It was sloppy. There we go. That kind of leads me into my next one, which I've been calling gun madness, like reefer madness. Let's go crazy with the guns. All guns are bad. And, if you're in a domestic violence situation, that you can, that the guns are used. And, I'm just going to play this. It's it's a gun violence PSA that I think went a little too far.
911, what's your emergency?
It's my ex. He's trying to break in.
Do you have a restraining order?
This is my house. Please, my son is here.
Open the door!
I need you to stay calm.
He just broke in the door. You need to come now. Get away from him. Hey! Get away! Get out of here!
I'm taking him!
Yeah. I mean, look, and it happens. It does happen. But you're scaring people into thinking that guns are all bad and that they're just used for, domestic violence and for crimes, which is not true. It's not true at all. In fact, I gave a really stunning fact of people who have licenses to carry a concealed weapon or a license for a gun, registered gun owners. They commit 0.004% of crime. And in fact, if you live in a state that's open carry, or you can get a carry concealed weapon, a CCW, like Maine, like Vermont, Vermont's open carry. But the statistics, the violent crime rate is way down. And yet you still hear people yelling, get rid of the guns, get rid of the guns. The states who've gotten rid of the guns have more violent crimes than ever before. In fact, here's a really interesting stat that I didn't give yesterday. People said, there's going to be, so many killings in bars, and there's so many bar fights, and if you allow people to carry guns into bars or open carry or conceal your weapon, you're going to have a lot of dead people. Well, the states that have the open carry or the carry concealed weapon laws, and the ones that just went into effect in the last few years, the crime rates and the bar fights went down 5.2%. And that's just statistics, folks. So when you're yelling out there and, get rid of the guns, we don't need any more guns, it's gun violence. If we added more guns to good citizens, less violent crimes would occur. That's just a statistic. Now, here's two people that should have guns.
And you sitting up here you are a dumb hoe. Shut up. Yeah, you want to hear me? Fired. You up. I will get fired. No.
Yeah, well, that's the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yeah. And these women are dressed in ball gowns. They've got the hairdos and the makeup, and they're at a sophisticated dinner, what looks like that, and then they go off on each other, and then they actually start hitting each other. Now, we didn't pose that question, women hitting women.
I don't want to mess with them either.
Is that okay? No, I'm kidding. That's not a question.
Girl.
You know. Yeah, so we got to take a break. I'm Kerri Kasem. I'm filling in for Bill Carroll. If you don't hate me already, you just might after you hear what I have to say about the next thing I'm going to talk about. If you drive a car, you might hate me. It's KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk.